No. Y'all ready? Y'all ready? Time it.
Pizza.
BLAZIN takes. Yeah. I just gotta have my BLAZIN takes. I know what this is. BLAZIN takes. If you get offended, so great.
Y'all here because y'all want the real.
And
you know I'm gonna get it. But enough with all that.
Good people, what it do, what it is, what it look like. This is Rick Blaze with another episode of Rick's BLAZIN Takes, coming at you live and direct. When we talk about the sim world, we talk about the real world, we talk about everything here on the show. So it is now kicking off officially. This weekend is the start of the NFL football season. We kicked it off on Thursday with the Super Bowl champs getting their behinds beat by some of the Super Bowl favorites, Buffalo Bills. And this Sunday is going to be the official start of the regular season for all the other teams, which got me to think, and football, I love football. I've always loved football. But since this fantasy football stuff has started, I'm really into football season. Really. Fantasy football is the only fantasy sport that I play. I do other fantasies, but that's for another show. But fantasy football is the only sport that I play for betting. And so I'm really into football during football season because I have all these players on different teams that, you're trying to watch and see how they do, but then you don't really want the teams to win. It becomes a really intriguing situation for me every single year. And I'm on several fantasy football teams. So the dichotomy of the whole thing is really interesting. And it just makes football season that much more fun for me, and I'm sure for everyone else who plays and enjoys fantasy football. Which got me to thinking about fantasy teams in SimWorld. Now, I was like, man, what would be a fantasy top five, a lineup of 5 people for your fantasy team at each position. I know we're playing positions basketball, but for the sake of this segment, I was like, each position, point guard, shooting guard, small forward, power forward, and center. Now, initially I said, well, let's not do all the class of 22 because I think everybody's going to pick mostly the same 5 people. So let's have a little fun with it. Let's do a fantasy team for SimWorld, but you can only have one player at whatever position you choose from the class of 22. The other 4 players have to be from the class of 23. So you got your starting 5. One player from 22, you can go grab from 22 to put on your fantasy roster this year at any position you want, any one position you want. But the other 4 players have to come from the current class of 23. Now that's an idea. So without further ado, I thought about it. Didn't take me long. Well, it did kind of take me long for the 23 players. Didn't take me long for my 22 player, obviously. Here is my fantasy team for SimWorld Fantasy Basketball. I just made that name up. I don't know if it's going to stick. But again, the rules are you can only have one player from 22. The other 4 players in your starting 5 have to be from the current class of 23. Here are mine. All right, so at point guard, I got to go with my man NDJ. I think he's going to be a top 5 guy the entire season. He's one of those guys. He's a 5'2" player. He has it all. He's a walking triple-double. This game reminds me a lot of Shea Gilgeous-Alexander out in Oklahoma, OKC. And if you haven't seen him play, that's a bad boy too. So NDJ is my point guard. I think he's going to be a top 5 player. I think he has a potential to be top 3 player this year. Maybe even number 1. He's really that good. He's a walker. Any given night, he can give it to you as a triple-double format. Shooting guard, I'm going to go with DJ Wagner. I know he hasn't signed yet. I know we don't know what team yet. But if he's going to be part of SimWorld in 23, I remember watching his dad play. If he's anything like his dad, he's a problem on the high school level for sure. I'm going to go DJ Wagner at the 2. At the 3, I'm going to slide my man over Trey Turner at the 3 to do his thing. We already know what Trey Turner can do. We ain't got to talk about what Trey Turner can do. Again, top 5 player. I can arguably be number 1 to start the season. He's at the 3. At the 4, Tyson Simpson. I reserve the right to change my 4. I don't really like the way he went about his business. I'll be honest with you. I don't know if I want that on my starting 5. I don't know. I don't like the way he went about his business. And then he did all of that. Yeah, I might come back to that. Put an asterisk next to Tyson Simpson's name because I might change that. And at number 5, I'm going to go back and get my boy from 22, Mr. Jameson Johnson. He does it all. My dog, JJ, number 5. So my top 5 is NDJ at the point, DJ Wagner at the 2. At 3, I got Trey Turner. At 4, I got Tyson Simpson. And at 5, JJ Johnson. I think that team can beat and compete with any team that SimWorld has put together, including last year's teams of other teams. Tell me what your top 5 will be. Again, 4 people from the 23 class, and then 1 person you can come and grab from 22 in one of those positions. Interested to see what you got to think. That's my time. Till next time, Rick Blaze. Have a good weekend. I'm out.
Blazing takes. If you get offended, so great. Y'all here because y'all want the real.